Hello and welcome. If you find anything useful today, please like and subscribe, it really helps. This is the first part of a set of tutorials which will be more relaxed, more informal, and will just simply show you my workflow between Daz Studio and Unreal Engine 5. Okay, here we are in Unreal Engine 5. I've created a basic third-person template. I've done this so we've got the mannequin to work with and some animations, just to get us started. First thing is first, we need to go to plugins and ensure that our Daz to Unreal plugin is enabled, which it is in this case, and I am running here 4.2.0. This is my version from my GitHub, but David has now updated his, so it should work with Unreal Engine 5 moving forward, which is great. Right, and then next we need to go to our project settings here, like so, and go down to plugins and find Daz to Unreal settings. Now in these settings we're going to show import dialog, so it'll show a dialog box when we import a Daz character. By default the plugin just imports and it appears in your content browser. We don't want that. We want to be able to control which skeleton is used and maybe some other things, so I always have this checked here. As for everything else, we can leave it for now, and we might change things later. Okay, what we're going to do now is, now that it's set up, we'll save all, just in case we have a crash, and we're going to switch over to Daz Studio. Okay, so here we are inside Daz Studio. I've created a basic project, and in this basic project I've got all the Genesis characters. So I've got Genesis 1, 2, 3 and 8. I've done this because we're going to import all these into Unreal Engine, so then when we transfer animations and such, we've got all the skeletons there in Unreal. We don't have to do anything else. Okay, we're now going to export this to Unreal Engine. First, you want to name it. Okay, I am going to prefix this with Genesis 1, G1, and I'm going to call this tutorial because I already have one in my project and I don't want it to clash with that. So G1 tutorial, skeletal mesh. We'll not bother with enable morphs or subdivisions. Advanced settings, we need show FBX dialog, and then remember where you are storing these files. That might be important later. So we accept, and I will click mouse there, it's just out of habit really, and accept, and now that will go over to Unreal Engine. So once we open up Unreal Engine, you'll see that Daz Studio has sent our character over to Unreal, and this dialog box has popped up. Now, as I mentioned before, this dialog box does not appear by default with the plugin. We enabled that in the project settings, and I've done that. So here we can either choose a skeleton, I've got quite a few in here, or we leave it to none and it will create a skeleton for our character, and that is what we want for Genesis 1, because the Daz plugin does not come with a Genesis 1 skeleton. So we just click, we double check all the settings, yep, that's all fine, and then we click import. Remember to leave that to none for now, and it should import our character. Ignore these warnings, it won't affect the function of our character. Sometimes I did forget, in the dialog box you can uncheck animations and it won't create this file. We don't need the animation, let's get rid of it, it's just blank anyway. Right, so what it's done is import our Genesis 1 character. There we go. and a skeleton with a skeleton tree and a physics object. And that is how you would import the Genesis character. Now I'm going to actually delete that we've just brought in. You don't have to do this, but as you can see in the background, I already have imported all my characters. There is no difference for Genesis 1, 2, 3 or 8. You just import it the exact same way like that. Each time I would suggest you create a skeleton, and you, for example, in my G1 folder, it's the G1 skeleton. If we go to G3, it's a G3 skeleton. I don't use the one that comes with Daz because I want that intact inside the plugin. I don't want to damage it. If I make changes to the skeleton, I add bones or anything, I don't want that to affect the plugin, so I always create my own skeleton. Right, so we have now in this folder the various characters. Here we have it. Right, so next, the next stage of what I would do, I would create a IK retargeting folder, and inside that I have two folders. I separate IK retargeter and IK rigs. Let's go into the IK rigs first. In this folder I've created various IK rigs in advance. So we have a metahuman IK rig there with all the chains already created. We have a Genesis 2 character, there we go, with all the chains. Genesis 3 with all the chains. Genesis 8 and a Genesis IK rig for our Genesis character that we've just imported. Now I'm going to recreate this one, so let's just we will just create a new one. So if I go to animation, IK rig, we want our G1 skeleton, and we will call this G1 IK rig. Okay, so if I click on that, we have our Genesis 1 character there, and we are going to create the chains of bones required for retargeting. First thing is we click on the hip, as with all Daz Studio characters, and set retarget route. Then with this particular one, we want to click on the left thigh, shin, foot, toe, and we will stop there. And new retarget chain from selected bones, and we want leg L as the name. You can name these whatever you want, but what I will suggest is from IK rig to IK rig, you keep the naming convention. So for example, I would, if I'm building one for a metahuman, I will keep the name leg L for a metahuman. And it's just the names that I've personally chosen, but please keep them the same, so then when it comes to retargeting, all the chains match up. So anyway, leg L. Then we need a leg right, and we set new retarget chain from selected bones. Leg R. Oops. My mouse batteries are running out. Right, and then we want a spine, which is abdomen, abdomen 2, chest and neck. And new retarget chain from selected bones, spine, and while we're here, the head, new retarget chain from selected bones, head. Then we need to do the arms, and arm left, and then let's do the other arm. So collar, shoulder, forearm and hand, and we then do arm Oops, I have messed this up, haven't I? I've done the right. Okay, so let's just call that arm for now and rename arm left to arm right. There we go. And then arm left. Sorry, I'm very tired today. Right, so far we have left leg, right leg, spine, head, arm right, arm left, and that's all fine. Right, and then you need to go on and we need to do the fingers. I'm not going to do that now, it will take too long, but basically you would select the right thumb, 1, 2 and 3, and then you would create a chain for the thumb. Please go back to my previous videos and learn the process of creating these IK rigs, so you can just quickly shoot through it, create your fingers, and we can move on. Okay, as I said, I already have an IK rig created, so I'm going to delete the one we've just created. Here's my Genesis IK rig, look. I don't know how useful the old Genesis character is going to be for you, but I'm going to show you why it's useful for me today. Okay, so we've got an IK rig. The next step is to go back into our retargeting folder and we click on the IK retargeter folder. And here I have various retargeters. There's one for a Mixamo, the Mannequin, Genesis, and G2, G3, yeah. And so to create this animation, IK retargeter, and then you would choose your IK rig that you'd created from here. So our Genesis one is here, for example. You would click on that and it would create a new IK retargeter. Again, I've already created one, so we'll get rid of that for now. And we will open up the Genesis retargeter that I created earlier. And here we have it. Now, from this window, obviously you can choose your target. At the moment it's set to Mannequin, but we can set it to a MetaHuman or a Genesis 2 character, Genesis 3, Genesis 8, a Mixamo character. So whichever characters you've created IK rigs for, they will show up here and you can use them for retargeting. So what we will do is perhaps choose a Genesis 3 character. No, in fact, we will go with a Mannequin. So the Mannequin is in the wrong pose. So what we need to do is create new pose, and we will call this G1, meaning Genesis 1, Genesis, to Mannequin, like so. And that will create a new pose. And then we want to edit this pose by clicking here. The bone controls are slightly large, so we come over here to bone draw size and we scale those down until we can see what we are doing. There we go. And then we are going to click on the various bones and then set the poses for this. Do it by eye. With practice it may get better. I'm not perfect yet, but I am getting quite good results just by doing it by eye. I wish there was a better way, but at the moment there isn't. Anyway, we'll just do that. And let's have a look. Yeah. There we go. No? Oh, this is frustrating. Right, there we go. Right, okay, now I want to look at it from the top. The arms seem slightly more bent there. And this one, another perhaps 5 degrees. Yeah. The shoulders look to be further back, so if we click on the shoulder and pull that forward, and this shoulder and pull that forward. And then back to perspective. And the legs are slightly off, but I don't think we're going to be able to pull them in enough. Oops. maybe. They might end up too close together though, so yeah. So we'll put those back for now. It's not perfect, but it just, yeah, let me just move them apart a little. I think that will do for the purposes of this. Okay, so once you pose your character and it now matches this character, I will say about the hands that from Genesis character, for the different Genesis characters, they have different hand poses. So you would have to pose the fingers as well. I'm not going to do that because it will take me a very long time. Maybe they could be bent a little bit more like this, look. But anyway, that'll do for now. And we click on edit pose, and that's it. You've created a pose now. So I already have a Genesis animation here, just for testing purposes. So we'll click on that. And as you can see, it will retarget Genesis animation onto the Unreal mannequin. And as I said before, you can, for example, have a metahuman. The metahuman is already in kind of a T-pose, so let's have a look. And press play. And there you go. From old Genesis animation to brand new metahuman animation. And again, onto a Genesis 2 character. There you go. Again, the fingers are not moving in this. I don't know why that is. Or we could have a Genesis 3 character. Press play again. There you go. We could have the mixed mode character as well. Right. So what we're going to do now is import a Genesis animation, an old Genesis animation. So let me go back into Dash Studio. Okay, well here we are back in Dash Studio. We've selected our Genesis 8 character. If we go over to the Animate Light tab there, there are these. I don't think they work with the original. I think the Genesis 2, those ones. Anyway, what I have here is some old, and I mean very old, Genesis animations for the original Genesis character. We have various ones that I found on a hard drive, and as you can see, there's idle animations and such. Here we go. There's quite a few in this particular folder. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose one. I don't know what that is at the moment. Let's have a look. Yes, we'll choose this one. And I want to drag that into Animate Light to where it says Genesis here. And that's it. It's in there now. What I want to do now is right click here and bake to studio keyframes. So we baked studio keyframes. This will take a moment. Right, that's it. And then we click on timeline, and now as you can see we have keyframes and our animation. Okay, so I've explained that more than I wanted to. If you're here, I'm hoping you already know how to animate in Dash Studio. So we're going to move on now, and we're going to export this animation to Unreal Engine. Now, ensure Genesis is selected, our Genesis character, and we're going to send to Daz to Unreal, and we will call this G1. We'll prefix it with that so we know which character it belongs to, and we'll call it walk and turn. In asset type, we need to do animation. Again, leave those unchecked. Show FBX dialog. Again, remember where your folder is. It's always important to know where that folder is in case anything goes wrong in the process. Click accept, and this box opens again. Now, for some reason, I don't know why it is with the DAZ, maybe it's just me, but I have to tick animations in this dialog box. The plugin doesn't seem to do it itself. Now, as I said, it's probably something that I'm doing wrong, but anyway, make sure animations is checked. We don't want morphs or anything like that, and hit accept. And I will go through and it will hopefully transfer to Unreal Engine. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's exported now to Unreal Engine. So let's switch back over to Unreal Engine. Okay, back in Unreal Engine, and this box has popped up along with importing G1 walk and turn. What we need to do now is go to the skeleton and choose our G1 skeleton, our Genesis skeleton. And now click import. Okay, that's imported now. There it is. One moment. Yep, there you go. Perfect. It's now imported for our Genesis character. And if we go over to, one moment, I've got too many windows open. Right, we go back to our retargeter. Where is our retargeter? There. And we click on our Genesis retargeter. We don't want the Mixamo character. We will go for, say, the mannequin again. And make sure that we have our selected pose. It hasn't saved the pose. That is really frustrating. Ugh. Anyway, okay, so we will just pose our character again, I guess. We'll quickly do it this time. Okay, I hope they work that bug out because that one is frustrating. Anyway, that'll do for now. There we go. And then, so if we click on our walk and turn, there we go. And as you can see, it's retargeted. Obviously, the arms are not bent the same. That's because I haven't sorted out the pose. Let me just for the sake of it, I must do that. Right, so to go to the top, click there, and straighten that. Go to there, and straighten that. The hand is there. One, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And then we should, is that better? Not really. Okay, that's just a simpler matter of making sure the pose is correct, which obviously I haven't done. But there you go. If we go to a Genesis 2 character and we click on the same, walk and turn, there you go, Genesis 2. And Genesis 3. There we go. This before was a real pain in the bum trying to do this inside DAZ Studio, like transferring animations between a Genesis 2 character and a Genesis 8 character, for example. There was scripts, and I believe once there was a plugin, but I never had any luck at all. So most of these animations just ended up on a hard drive, just stuffed in a cupboard, and I never touched them again. But now they are useful again. Let's go back over to DAZ Studio. So we have all these characters, Genesis 2, Genesis 8, and so on. So now you know that it doesn't matter what animation for which character you have, as long as you have all your IK rigs and retargeter set up inside Unreal Engine, you can retarget all of your old DAZ animations now onto whatever you want, whether that's other DAZ characters or mannequin or metahumans and so on and so on. I'll give you an example now of old Genesis animation retargeted onto a metahuman. Okay, here we are, and I've opened up a map, and here we have our metahuman Daisy from our previous tutorial, and Daisy has a live link on her, so let me just tick that to auto activate. And here we have a Genesis animation retargeted onto a modern metahuman. And considering how old the Genesis animation is now, that's pretty amazing to me. Okay, so that is Daz Studio animations to Unreal Engine 5. I hope you found that useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps.